Today we will be discussing Harvard, Trump, and the shadow of authoritarianism. Harvard University, a global icon of higher education, the birthplace of ideas that shaped constitutions, medicine, and movements for justice. But in April 2025, it wasn't being praised, it was being punished. The Trump administration cut over $2 billion in federal grants to Harvard, citing alleged civil rights violations involving Jewish students. In response, Harvard filed a lawsuit, arguing that this was not about civil rights. It was about control. The university claimed that the government's demands infringed on academic freedom and amounted to ideological interference, attempts to dictate hiring, teaching, and even the content of the classroom under the guise of compliance. This is not just about one lawsuit. It's about something much larger. It's a power struggle between universities and governments, between truth and ideology, between open inquiry and authoritarian control. And if history is any guide, the stakes are far greater than a lost grant or a legal battle. They are existential. To understand why, we need to look backward to 1930s Spain. In the early 20th century, Spain was a fragile democracy, torn between a rising fascist movement, growing worker unrest, and an old conservative elite. Universities like the University of Madrid and the University of Barcelona became incubators of radical thought. Students and professors stood for secularism, workers' rights, and liberal democracy. They opposed the monarchy. They questioned the church. They were seen as dangerous. When General Francisco Franco launched a coup in 1936, backed by Hitler's Germany and Mussolini's Italy, the country collapsed into civil war. And one of Franco's primary targets was education. He saw the university as the heart of resistance, and so he crushed it. Thousands of professors were exiled or executed. Libraries were burned. Philosophy, feminism, psychology, even Darwinism were eliminated from curriculums. Entire departments were shut down. By 1939, when Franco's fascist forces had won, Spain's intellectual life was in ruins. Education became indoctrination. Universities became tools of obedience. Knowledge became dangerous. This was not unique to Spain. In Nazi Germany, Jewish professors were fired and imprisoned. Books were burned. Ideas that didn't serve the Reich were banned. In Pol Pot's Cambodia, wearing glasses, suggesting literacy, could get you killed. In Stalin's USSR, academics were sent to gulags for teaching Western ideas. In Pinochet's Chile, students and professors disappeared for questioning the regime. Again and again, the lesson is clear. Authoritarianism begins by silencing the classroom, which brings us back to the present. Harvard's lawsuit against the Trump administration is more than a legal maneuver. It's a line in the sand. The university is pushing back against what it sees as a coordinated attempt to reshape education through coercion, using federal funding as leverage to impose ideology. And while Harvard's $50 billion endowment might give it the resilience to fight back, most institutions don't have that luxury. What happens to smaller liberal arts colleges, to state schools, to institutions already reeling from budget cuts and political pressure? If we allow federal support to become a weapon of political enforcement, we risk transforming universities from spaces of debate into echo chambers of state-sanctioned ideology. And make no mistake, the signals are already here. Books are being banned in school districts across America. Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are being dismantled. Histories are being rewritten or scrubbed from curriculums. In Florida, entire majors have been defunded. In Texas, professors are being surveilled. Across the country, teaching the truth is becoming an act of resistance. And yet, students continue to resist, because they always have. In the 1960s, they marched for civil rights. In 1970, 4 students were killed at Kent State for protesting the Vietnam War. In apartheid South Africa, student uprisings helped ignite international pressure. In Franco's Spain, students smuggled banned books and met in secret to keep radical thought alive. Students have always been the conscience of democracy, and when democracy teeters, they're often the first to be targeted and the first to fight back. The irony is this: those who accuse students of being too radical, too woke, too political, often fear not chaos, but clarity. They fear the classroom because it produces people who ask why and who benefits. And what now? That's what this battle is really about. Harvard is a symbol, a flagship, a global stage. And to punish Harvard is to send a message. Even the powerful are not safe if they defy political orthodoxy. But the real fear is not Harvard's defiance. It's that others might follow. So what happens next? If these trends continue, we could face a future where federal grants are only awarded to institutions that align politically with the government in power, where subjects are censored, where hiring is dictated by ideological litmus tests, where students are surveilled and professors dismissed, where history is rewritten and science becomes subordinate to belief. And in that world, education is no longer a public good. It's propaganda. Harvard's resistance, then, isn't just about protecting itself. It's about defending the very concept of the university as a place of free thought, of open disagreement, of evidence, dialogue, discovery. This is about whether America still believes that universities should ask hard questions, or whether they'll be forced to supply easy answers. The Spanish Civil War taught us what happens when power fears the classroom, when truth is made illegal, when the university becomes the enemy of the state. It taught us that silence can be engineered, that compliance can be bought, that once academic freedom is lost, it is very hard to reclaim. So Harvard's fight is not just legal, it is historical, it is moral. It asks us, will we allow the past to repeat itself? Will we allow ideology to gut inquiry? Will we watch as knowledge is strangled by fear? Or will we remember what a university is for? Because this isn't just Harvard's fight, it's ours.